Do you remember that dog? Yes, that trembling pink, living on edge grenade named Courage. When I first watched Courage the Cowardly Dog, I was just a child, and I'm sure you were too. I hope you remember that grainy, dark, nowhere atmosphere, that feeling as if the end of the world had arrived. Why did the cartoon make us feel so uneasy? Perhaps because it was one of the first works to shatter the everything is fine illusion of animation. Yes, other animated series had their occasional scary or tense episodes, but this one felt different. Today, we're not just analyzing an animation, but one of the legendary productions of our childhood. Everyone has a starting point. For Courage, it was the infinite silence of space. Recall that famous memory scene, his mother and father disappearing inside a rocket. In that moment, the foundation of Courage's world was built upon abandonment. When Muriel found him by a dumpster, two lonely souls joined together to heal each other's wounds. And why Muriel, of all people? Because Muriel was the center of compassion in this story. And Eustace? Eustace was that grumpy, dissatisfied side of life that constantly asks you, why are you even here? Have you ever thought about Courage's tolerance for Eustace? It wasn't just for Muriel's sake, but also to keep that house from falling apart. Nowhere. That name wasn't chosen at random. That town was a place of exile, a gathering spot for all the outcasts, for all that is strange in the world. The absurd monsters that arrived every episode, one day an alien, the next a cursed pharaoh, or a giant insect, they were all metaphors. Think about the flow of events. Courage would be sitting peacefully at his computer when suddenly the peace would be shattered. Doesn't that sound familiar? Those unexpected crises that erupt just when you think, my life is finally on track. How would Courage react in those moments? First, he would be terrified, then he would scream, but in the end, he would always come up with a solution. What was the most important thing that set Courage apart from other cartoon heroes? He was a coward. He wasn't Superman. He couldn't fly. He wasn't Batman. He didn't have billions of dollars worth of gadgets. He was just afraid, and that is what made him brave. True courage is not the absence of fear. It is standing right in the middle of it and doing what needs to be done, even while trembling. Remember his transformations, the way he would contort his body to defeat the monsters. Now, look at your own life. Think of your greatest achievement. Weren't you afraid when you reached it? I'm sure you were shaking. Courage was the symbol of that very moment. The show's creator, John R. Dilworth, was a genius. Why? Because he presented such dark subject matter with such absurd humor that we were both terrified and amused while watching. In one scene, someone's skin is peeled away, and in the next, Eustace's hat blows off. Isn't that exactly like life? That hysterical laughter that follows the most tragic moments. Remember that feeling of uncanniness in the pacing. Those moments when the music would suddenly cut out, and you could only hear Courage's heavy breathing. What did you see in Courage's eyes in those moments? And a question for you, why do you think they never moved out of that house? In the early seasons, the monsters mostly came from the outside. It felt as if the world was closing in on them. In later seasons, the monsters became more internalized. Our own mistakes, our past, our regrets. Every time Courage defeated a monster, he was perhaps trying to heal that abandoned dog wound in his own past. Remember, at the end of every episode, the house was still standing. Why? Because Courage never abandoned his responsibility, no matter how scared he was. In today's world, we might see responsibility as a boring chore, but Courage showed us that when responsibility is fused with love, it becomes an impenetrable armor. Think of the finale, that Courage the Future Star theme. Courage confronted his own future. For a character to see their own end is the greatest confrontation a being can experience. In the finale, the house was still there, the wind was still blowing, but Courage was no longer that trembling dog. The greatest lesson the story taught us was this: if you have nowhere to run, the safest place is the very center of your fear. Nowhere is actually everywhere. Wherever you are, that is the center of a story. It might sound a bit wise, but it's the truth, friends. Courage never grew up, but we did. Now, when you watch those episodes again, you might realize how human those monsters actually were. The ambitious boss, the insidious neighbor, those never-ending anxieties, they were all monsters visiting that farmhouse. Are you the courage of your own life, Or are you that Eustace talking to himself inside that house? This journey hasn't ended here. Courage is still in that house somewhere, continuing to be afraid and to love. How are things in your nowhere? I think this became more of a mix of motivation and insight rather than just a summary video. Anyway, if there is a film, series, or cartoon you want me to summarize, write it in the comments. And if you want more philosophical analyses like this, let me know in the comments as well. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until the next video, take care and goodbye.